Hello guys, Merry Christmas and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to give you 10 facts about Lost Ark that you might not have known. Some of these facts are also tips for those of you who are new to the game. It's gonna make your life maybe a little bit easier, make you know more about the game. I want to start off with number 1 in absolutely no particular order. Dungeons get scaled up the more people enter them. This applies to leveling up dungeons, and this also applies to endgame dungeons, like for example chaos dungeons. If you're playing in bizarre hours because you're from, I don't know, somewhere in Singapore and there's nobody online to queue up for chaos dungeons or for leveling up dungeons, feel free to enter there alone. The dungeon is gonna get scaled down in terms of difficulty to a one-man party, and the more people enter, the more the dungeon becomes difficult. Yeah. Number 2 is that mounts become one with your character when you mount up. Mounts in Lost Ark don't have their own HP, they never die. You are the one who dies if you are mounted and take damage. It's your HP that gets consumed. You can use pots while mounted as well, and your mount never needs to be respawned or resurrected in some NPC or in some place. And you also never get unmounted as you take damage. This is another fact about the game. Number 3 is related to the accessories that you have doubles of. Accessories have a main slot, which is the one on top here, and the secondary slot, which is the one on the bottom for each. Now, as you level up and also at end game, you get accessories that are better than one of the ones you have here. If I would just right click this ring in my bag, it would always place it in the main slot. And then I would get in my bag the ring that was there, which is also better, but it's better than the one in my secondary slot. So the tip is, and the fact, instead of dragging this ring, this new ring that's better on top of the secondary slot, you can also press Alt on your keyboard and then right click, it drags it, it puts it automatically in the secondary slot. There is no mana pots in Lost Ark, and that is because they don't exist. Mana is a resource that is also consumed as you're fighting, as you're doing damage, as you're using your skills. And some classes have skills that regen mana, some classes have skills that regen mana for the whole group, some classes have skills that regen mana only for themselves, and also it naturally regens itself as time passes. But there's no pots for it, and if you feel that you're suffering from mana in that particular raid because that raid boss has a skill that drains mana, then look for a class that can regen mana for the whole group. A fact about PvP is that you can inspect people. If you open up this menu inside 3v3 matches or 1v1v1 matches, you can open up this menu after you've died or if you queued up third, and you can see who are you playing with. Right click, control, right click here, character info, and then these are the people that are currently playing. You can check out their builds, and if you see that a guy has a nice build, something that you like, maybe you want to see a little bit more info about him. You see, wow, this guy did 8k DPS, I love this guy, loved his build. Let me see, what has he been doing? Oh, a lot of PvE, okay, he's a nice complete guy. You cannot do it if you right click in the party, you cannot do this. You have to open up this menu, but then it works. You can inspect your groupies or the opposing team. Right. Another fact, and at the same time tip about PvP, is that there is a setting in the video settings, Force 21:9 aspect ratio. This allows you to see more of the screen to the left and to the right. If you look at the example in the background right now, my teammates are fighting, and if they are going to be fighting on one side like this, you don't see the other side. If they're fighting here, you don't see this one. But if I force 21:9, I see absolutely everything at all times on my screen. There is both sides of the arena, almost. If I go just a little bit towards the center, but not even close to the center, I see all of it. This is a very important resource in Lost Ark. For those of you who PvP a lot, you probably already do this, but just saying, for those of you who are new and you've always wondered, how can you see the cast of that Devil Hunter which casts from one side to the other side the sniper shot? Well, this is exactly how you see it. And another thing about PvP is that these battle points that you see here on the right hand side at the end of every match, some people have more, some people have fewer, or sometimes it happens that all of you have the same amount of them. These dictate how much progress you're gonna get to your G's, to your rank in that sense. How much rating you are getting for that particular match. If you didn't play at all in that 3v3, in that 1v1v1 arena, if you queued last and then the first two people defeated all 3 of the other team, then you're gonna get 0 of these battle points, which means that you're gonna get very few progress towards your Gs or whatever you're doing there in that arena. Well, just Gs in the 1v1v1 because it's not a ranked version. But if you don't contribute to the match, it applies for people who stay AFK as well. If they don't contribute and are just AFK or they don't get to play, they get fewer points, which means that in turn they get fewer progress for their rating for their Gs. The dash or the dodge, the thing that every class has access to, this thing right here, does not make you immune to damage in Lost Ark. It's not an iframe like in other MMORPGs. However, you can make you immune to damage if you have a seal for it, and the seal is this one right here. It's called Invincible Evasion. You equip one of this on your ring, and then you are immune to damage also as you're dashing. In PvP, remember that dashing does make you immune to CC, however still not immune to damage. And also remember that using a seal book on your ring, this Invincible Evasion one, does not work in PvP arenas. Last thing that I want to mention is the Chilean tickets right here. Keep in mind that you get 3 of them for each of your characters on your account that's level 30 or 35 or above. Not only your main gets them. So that means that you can do all sorts of tricks with these Chilean tickets. One trick that many people do is that they are 4 friends in a pre-made for everything in the game, and then 2 of them waste their Chilean tickets carrying the alts of their other 2 inside the cube up until platinum diamond tier. All of them get 150 gold, and they do this, let's say, 10 times that day because they all gathered 10. Now the other 2 people in the group, after they finished with their alts and the other people finished with their mains, then those log into their alts and they log into their mains, and again they carry each other to platinum and diamond or whatever, and they get again another 150 gold. You can play around with this because gold is a currency that's shared around the account. I get it, you don't get the shillings for that particular run, but if it's gold you're interested in from the cube, and that's what you want to waste your Chilean tickets on, the cube, then this is a thing that some people do, carry themselves up until the stage where they get a lot of gold, and then the friend carries them up until the stage, and then they get double the gold on mains and on alts by carrying each other. Just keep that in mind. You don't have to do it in Russia, God forbid. I mean, you're just testing classes in the game here, but just saying for the future, maybe something to keep an eye for. That's all I wanted to talk about in this video, guys. I thank you so much for watching. I'm recording this the evening before. I really need to get streaming. By the way, I'm streaming these days. I want to be streaming almost every day up until January, and maybe even a little bit in January, because I'm free from work and I really want to enjoy my time with you guys. So hop on my stream. I wish you lots of love as always. I wish you happy holidays. I hope you're enjoying them, and I'm gonna see you really soon in my next video.